Hi guys, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming, and today we are taking a look at the new Saints Row reboot. Now, I'd seen like the marketing releases and the trailers and stuff, and it didn't really look like my cup of tea, so I was going to pass on it. But thank you to all the kind guests at the wedding, because I had some money, so I decided to torture myself with it. Thanks.
Don't forget, it's game night tonight.
Yes, it did go smoothly, by the way, if anyone's interested out there. So I am now a married man. I'm afraid, ladies, I am off the table. You have missed your chance of being miserable. Terribly sorry about that. So, yes, the new Saints Row. The trailers didn't impress me. It looked very much like a bunch of hipsters that I would hate. And playing the game, it's a bunch of hipsters that I don't hate because they don't really have a character to them. They're just so bland. They're just people that dress funny and have like one character trait each. It's not good. The writing is awful. Saints Row has always been funny, violent, misogynistic, you know, all the good things. It didn't care who it pissed off, it would go for everybody. And the character you played was absolutely a sociopath and completely unrepentant about it. And that's what was fun, because you're in a virtual world, you're antagonizing, insulting and killing everybody under the sun. No lines are made, there's no delineation, it's just everybody. This is very much a neutered version. I think the writers think they're the funniest people in the world, but none of the jokes landed with me, so well done. For instance, there's a credit sequence while you're driving and you've just had a bad day at your job, and it's just a string of swearing basically, but it's done like as though a 4-year-old has just worked out that swearing's a bit naughty. Oh, and it's not even fun swearing, like it's just, imagine sort of James Rolfe level swearing but not funny. It's just long strings of swearing with no humour to it. It's just there, and you're there, and you can just see in the writers, they're like, "This is so cool, it's funny as fuck." No, it's not. No, and having discussions about who's chipping in for waffle makers and shit, it's not funny. None of it's funny. It's just them talking about things that I don't care about, and that's a lot of the problem. And a lot of the problem with the story is there's just nothing to it. I mean, they start robbing things to pay back, well, they mention student debts. I don't know if that's their entire plan, but you basically have 3 roommates and they're all parts of different gangs, and you all kind of like go, well, screw those guys, let's make our own gang, and they make the Saints. They're not the Saints. No chance are they the Saints. So my personal history with the Saints games is I played Saints Row 2 first, because I was a PlayStation guy, and the first one never came out on PlayStation. So I played Saints Row 2 on PS3, and then I got 3, 4, you know, Get Out of Hell, and Agents of Mayhem, if you want to put it in the same bracket as well. Agents of Mayhem was obviously the weakest, and probably Get Out of Hell is the second weakest. Saints Row 2 for me is always going to hold a special place in my heart, not just because it was the first one I played, but it was also, I thought it struck the best balance between outrageous sort of humour and violence and sort of reality, if you like. Whereas Saints Row 3 sort of jacked it up, and then Saints Row 4 just abandoned the realism thing completely and went aliens, sort of Matrix, spaceships, and all of that. I did make it a bad game, and there was still a lot of jokes that landed for me. Just random ones, like when you're the president at the start of the game and your White House is under attack, and you call and make a radio call, and it's Bert calling Ernie, and you know, stuff like that. That actually made me laugh. There's none of that in the new game. The new game, the character creator is very fully featured. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to make anyone that doesn't look like, well, more than slightly strange. I did my best, as you can see on the screen. I went for my usual leggy redhead that I normally create in games. And that's about as good as I get after an hour of trying.
Easy, but we have time to plan.
I don't think it's too bad, but the eyes is just weird. All of the eye colours basically look like coloured contacts rather than eyes.
It's a tough
So
job.
they all look weird,
Let's
and
get some
it's
extra
just
muscle.
not. Oh,
Talk
no.
to your murder machine to help me
It
out.
just ruins it.
There's
That's why I've
someone
got
in mind?
glasses
I
on
do.
her, because it
Someone I
kind
met
of like
during
has
my
this
stint at
distortion
Marshall.
effect that kind of
It'll be a
mutes
tough
the
sell,
eyes a
but
bit.
I bet we can
But
persuade him.
Cool. Let's give him a call.
Can't do
although
that.
as you can see,
He's being detained.
the benefit of having a female character is there for everybody to see. So, dumpster diving
Hey.
when you can dress them up how you want.
In a
I enjoy it.
privately owned prison called the Frontier.
What can I say?
You want to break out the Nawali, don't you?
But the game itself
Assuming he hasn't
is
been
just boring.
extrajudicially
It's
murdered
boring
by
as
now?
fuck.
Yes.
When you first start playing, you're like, it's
can
not
go
too
wrong?
bad. You know, I don't like the
mean, I
characters,
could
but
die.
you know, it plays
But let's be
okay.
positive.
And then it continues to play exactly the same for like forever, and you're just like, I've kind of wanted a bit more.
Coming up on
Sorry.
the frontier.
So
That place is a
you
fucking
have
fortress.
guns, but upgrading the guns is level gated and it
Gonna
costs
stay low
money.
to avoid detection.
So
have to find a way to
even
do
if
the same.
you've got enough
You
money to
know,
upgrade,
maybe actually
because you're
be
not
stealthy for
level
once.
X, you can't upgrade your guns, even though you can fire the same gun normally, and for some reason upgrading it to hold more bullets and do more damage.
That's why I dug out my old Marshall
You can't,
uniform.
you don't know how to do
Blend
that
in.
yet. It
I'm like
never
a
makes
total
sense in
stealth
any
pro.
game
Seriously.
at all, and it wasn't
Use
present
the
in
hand
previous
grenades to open
Saints
the
Row
bottle.
games, so
That was one
it really
time.
makes no sense at all in the series. There is a lot of bugs. I have seen a few. Generally speaking, though, they've not been the same ones that I've heard from other sources. So I had a cutscene where I strode into the bar, completely invisible, just with my chosen...
On the roof.
You can go
Stay in the
topless
air.
and show
I'll
your
be out
nips,
with our new recruit in
Uh,
no time.
10-4.
but you can't go bottomless and show your garden. So you get to pick like a censorship sticker, and I've picked a peach because obviously I'm playing a lady, so that makes sense to me. And that was the only thing you could see, just the peach, even though she was actually dressed when I walked into the bar. So there you go. I don't know. They seem to have taken a lot of the sexual content out, but
I'm in.
then
You
not
remember
censored
the stealth.
titties,
Keep
which
moving,
the other
but
games
don't let
did.
any guards get a good
So
look
it's,
at your face.
well,
If they
you know,
do,
unless you
I'll
modded
bluff
them
my
like
way through.
I may
I got
have
this.
done. But out of the box, they were censored previously. So you kind of like, I'm not sure where you're going with this. It seems very confused. Your three roommates is, you have Kevin, who cooks and doesn't wear a shirt. That's his character. You have Eli, who is a nerd, and he LARPs, and because LARPing is the
Yeah, this is
joke,
my first
basically.
night shift.
And it's so funny.
Keep
He
moving. Don't
LARPs.
give them time to think about it.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was funny, but whatever. And then Nina, who no, not N-I-N-A, N-E-E-N-A-Y, N-A-H, actually. Yes, N-A-H. So, like the sound of a siren. I don't know why. Okay, fair enough, though. And she drives. And that's her character.
I'm gonna make quick
Although you
contact
don't
with the
really see her
Nawali.
driving
Keep
that
going
much.
to the
There's like
control
one
room to
cutscene
disable
quite
the lock
earlier on where
myself.
you do.
Make it fast.
And
I
then,
don't know how long I can hold this
yeah, she
position.
doesn't drive much. She just whines about her car a lot. So, yeah, whatever. Yeah, they're all uninteresting, and they're already friends. You don't sort of meet them for the first time and see the friendship forming. They're already friends. God knows why
Can't talk. The brass
anybody
must
would
be
be friends with
running
these
errands.
three, but they are. Your character starts out working for a military organisation, which is kind of like the equivalent of STAG in the old games. I can't even remember the name of it. I think it begins with an A. It's Marshall. There you go. I got it. I found it in the end. And you know, things go badly. You get fired from there, and you're like, let's make a gang. Oh, look, a church that's abandoned. Yay! Oh, look, there's the saint symbol on the floor. Let's call ourselves the Saints. And you're just like, okay, whatever. I'm not good with this. They're just a sorry excuse for a gang. They don't feel like a gang. They feel like Twitter residents, shall we say.
I can
That's
so
what they
sell.
feel
You
like.
know what stealthy people don't do?
I just have
Talk
no
about
real
how
interest.
stealthy they are.
There's a
Yeah,
point
yeah.
where they realise that
VIP
someone's
sells
been
just down
kidnapped,
here.
and Nina and
Hey, I don't
the
know
boss
you. I
are
don't
sat
know you
on the
either.
couch, and they're like,
It's a big
"Oh,
company.
you know, that thing that's being attacked, Kevin's there." And they just sit there for a moment. I'm like, "Yeah, Kevin's there. That's
Hey,
not a problem, is it?"
Wanna get
And then they're
out
like,
of here?
"Kevin's there." I'm like, "No, wait,
You put me in
let it go.
Career change.
It'll be fine.
Got a job in
Just
mind for
watch
you.
telly."
Sit tight.
Because I don't give a fuck about Kevin. Oh, I don't give a fuck about anybody in this game. So anyway, more glitches.
Passing through to
The
meet my
physics
CEO.
are completely broken. They seem to be like 10 times what they should be, which is
How are
really
you getting into the
frustrating when you
control
get
room?
I'm gonna walk
know,
in like I own the
tailgated,
place and press the button.
slammed in the
Seriously,
arse
does not
on
count as
the
stealthy.
road,
Does
you
if
know,
it works.
with a car, not just slammed in the arse. And you go flying and go off a bridge, and then you've got to restart the mission. I've been driving along and hit nothing, but still flown into the air
Evening.
and caused the mission to fail.
Orders.
And like,
Whose orders?
these missions are fucking
Wait a
boring.
minute. You're the one who got fired because of that
They've
museum
also like
fiasco.
toned down some of the names. I don't get that. It's like Freckle Bitches is now FB, and Rim Jobs is now Jim Robs, and you're just like, you've taken those out, but you've put tits in. What the fuck are you doing? Ugh.
Double
Ugh.
fun.
Ugh.
Gotta get out of here.
And you have to
busting
do
the
stuff as
servers?
well. So like, the way it works is you have a map at your hideout, and you can build various facilities around the city, and then these facilities you'll do jobs for, and you'll get a bonus after doing all the jobs. And I've not completed any of them because they get so fucking boring after the first couple, because it's all the same. Like
Go help in a wall.
Jim Robs, that you need to go and get 11 cars. I've got about 7. I'm just like, fuck this noise. It's boring as hell. No thank you. The combat it does feel similar to the earlier games in the way it functions. They have added a new way of getting health back, because normally enemies would drop health and you just pick it up. Now you have to execute like this sort of stylish finisher
We should
on
go.
unarmored
What
bad
makes you think
guys.
there is a we?
If there's not,
So I think sort of like
breaking you out.
Space Marine or something like that, and how you got your health back there is very similar. It's kind of using the Division sort of blob thing, so you have like a certain amount of blobs representing your health, and once you lose a full blob, you don't automatically regenerate that one. You have to go and like impressively stab somebody in order to get it back. It's just a single key press to initiate it, so it's not too much. There is a timer cooldown for it, which you can shorten with various different perks. Perks are generally not greatly useful. You will gain skills like the first one you get is probably the most useful, where you can put a grenade down someone's underoos and throw them at their friends. That's probably the most useful one, but there's like some other ones which really aren't that helpful. And to be fair, I mostly just shoot people in the face. I tend to forget about them anyway. So there's that. The handling on the car is almost... I don't know, I've seen a lot of people say it's terrible. I actually think it's almost too good. It doesn't feel like your cars have a lot of weight. Maybe that's why the physics are so fucked in it. So you can almost stop on a dime, unless you're in like a really big lorry or something. Regular cars are pretty easy to handle, I find.
Okay,
The
Nina,
graphics
you were
themselves
right. I suck at
aren't
stealth.
anything to get
I'm gonna do my thing now.
particularly
You
worked
mean
up about.
shoot your way out.
It looks
I mean,
okay in some areas, really bad in others. I mean, looking out in the desert, I think there's this like hazy thing going on, like this distortion. I think maybe they're trying to like sort of show the desert heat and stuff, but it just looks blurry. So no, that doesn't really work. Also, I'm having issues with like frame rate and the fact that like I've upgraded my PC. I now have a 3080 in it, so you know it should mulch pretty much everything. In this, when it's going 100%, it's like 100 frames-ish, 90 to 100, somewhere around there. But not every so often, every time I play it, after a little while, it decides to lock it to 65. No idea why. There's no cap set on it. There's, I can turn VSync off and it'll still do it. Just locks it down to 65 for some reason. Don't know why. I mean, it's obviously still playable at 65, but, you know, why would I want to when I can be playing it at 100? Good frames, more is better. There's just no getting around it. So, yeah, it's really not good. I mean, it is not the worst thing I've ever played, but I think it's what makes it worse is coming off of like the other guys, other games that did a much better job. Even the later ones, they were just more fun to play. This is just boring the hell out of me. And you know, the fact that they've taken it and made it politically correct and diverse and all of that, you know, injecting, for lack of a better term, wokeness into it. In a game like Saints Row, that is completely stupid because you will alienate the fan base. Because the whole point of Saints Row is not to be PC. It's to be very, very un-PC. It is to be the most obnoxious, insulting, murderous asshole you can be to absolutely everybody except your own gang. That is the way Saints Row games are supposed to work. No, you can't even rob stores. You know, you can't, if you shoot like the cashier or whatever, they don't die.
Sure could use that pickup now.
It's like cower,
Can do.
and that's it. That's all they do. It's just.
I can't get anywhere close.
I really hope that Rockstar are paying attention to this. Not necessarily just me, obviously, because I doubt Rockstar hang on my every word. But certainly to the reaction to this game, because I've heard they're going to try and sort of make their next GTA more politically correct, which is just another. Why would you do that? That's. I mean, it's less the case in GTA, which is more realistic. But still, you know, you only have to look at Trevor from GTA 5. That's what people liked about that game, man. If you take that out, then you've got a game with okay driving, probably a good open world, and some substandard shooting, and that's about it. But I'm sure you'll have like GTA 6 online, so you can like milk people for money. I'm sure that would be there. But I'm sure there'll be a chat for it. Oh, it's just depressing. Like, you have games. I mean, I would have loved an actual new Saints Row game, and this just isn't it. Absolutely not it. It needed longer in the development cycle to get rid of all the bugs, and to see Volition basically clapping back at people on social media when they're demonstrably wrong and everybody that's criticising them is correct is just sickening. It's just like, don't attack your fans, you know. Don't take what people love, change it, and then attack people when they complain about it. It's your own doing. Own up to it and say, yeah, we fucked up. We shouldn't have changed what people love. And it's the same thing that is happening in every media going today. I mean, you only have to look at Amazon, Disney. It's all happening there. They're getting their asses smoked. Viewership is down because they're putting stuff that no one wants to see apart from the 12% that are on Twitter and don't actually watch the shows. I feel I've gone off on tangent, but yeah, making Saints Row more viable for everybody is a ridiculous idea, and just don't buy it. I mean, I when I bought it, I started replaying Mafia 2.
Just get yourself a car and drive through.
Much better. So much better. Go play Mafia 2, because I know that's what I'm going to be doing, rather than Saints Row. Good grief. I can pick up fucking Playboys in that. Let's do it. Yeah, baby.
They're headed for the gate. Close the gates. Close the gates.
Anyway, guys, that's been my review of Saints Row. Have you got it? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would also like to hear more of my dulcet tones, please consider subscribing. I am planning on getting the third part in my Mortuary Assistant playthrough out next. it doesn't do well number-wise, but hey,
There. We're out of the
I've been on
prison.
this YouTube game for a long time, and very
to the
rarely do I
left.
have one that does well number-wise. I just do it for the love of it, and like at the end of the day, when I'm gone, I will have hundreds of hours of content for my friends and family to watch with me in it. So I will never truly be gone. I will live on in the internet.
That was fun, huh?
Yeah. Except
hungry?
I will be gone. I'll just be watching me fail at games from beyond the grave. Yes. Anyway, guys, take it easy. I'll catch you next time.
Thanks for stopping.
Figured you could use it.